You asking, the gold rims definitely do add 10 horsepower. Well, first 300 miles down, 300 to go to the first service. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Spiker USA on the 25 Africa Twin Adventure Sports ES. So, last video had a lot of comments, and we're going to ride around and talk about them while we put these miles on today, and just let you know what the answers may be. One of the specific questions was about the engine. The classic Honda Parallel Twin. It's 1,084 cc's, and this guy is putting out, depending on what publication you read, 100 to 105 horsepower, 76 foot-pound of torque, or 103 newton meters for those of you overseas. And I find that it is just enough punch, and it feels really good for the bike and the weight. Now, the weight of the bike is 559 pounds wet with all the fluids. It's 243 kilograms for you overseas, and I find it extraordinarily manageable. Now you add the bags on, add the engine guards on, you're going to add another couple pounds, but this thing handles it with ease. Another question was fuel mileage. Mind you, this is a brand new bike, but right now I'm averaging 43.4 miles per gallon on this big behemoth 6.5 gallon tank. So I would say comfortably we're doing about 275 mile range. Once we break it in, I can see this thing going 300 miles on a tank. And yes, Steady Eddie Honda takes regular gas, so 87 octane. You don't have to go with all the high test and spend the extra money. For me, I am 5'11". It's a little over 1.8 meters. This seat has two adjustments. Simply, put your key in right here, take the seat off, and there's a little, a latch or whatever that you can just switch, and it takes the seat height from the low position, which this is in, 32.9 inches, and you can raise it up to 33.7 inches. So, depending where you're at in the height game, I have a 32-inch inseam, and the 32.9 is just fine. I can flat foot it. So, a lot of adjustability, and there's a lot of versatility with this awesome mile munching machine. So, again, shout out to GIVI, great supporter and partner of the channel. The Beyond Riders got the gear, cargo pants, the shirt, and Indy Ridge for the boots. Check them out, IndyRidgeUSA.com, BeyondRidersGear.com, and GIVIUSA.com. Now, one other thing here, you have a USB right here for charging, and then over in here, you see this little outlet, power outlet? It's a 12-volt charging, so, whoa, big hill, in neutral. All right. Wait for this screen to fire up. You don't have to wait, but I do. And I have we'll do a video on the screen and all the functionality. Not in extreme detail on how to use it, but just to show you the amount of choices that are available with this screen. And so here you see the screen. It's set up in tour mode, and you have the power, engine braking, torque, ABS, and suspension. Obviously your gear indicator, your fuel, your tack, and then over here we have trip A, average consumption, average speed, and the consumption that you've used so far in your travel. Here is your little kickstand is down, obviously clock and temperature. So you can shift through all the different modes and it will change all of these settings with presets. So let's take a look. So there we have urban mode. So let's go back to tour. There's gravel, off-road, user 1, which is defined, user 2, all configurable, and back to tour. So watch how these settings automatically change as you filter through. See that difference? Pretty cool. And what's a little counterintuitive is one blue bar means the most power. So it's the least amount of power and the least amount of engine braking. And then obviously it clicks to your ABS off and your suspension is set to soft, which makes sense for gravel mode. Now, once you go back to tour mode, you'll see these numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, on your joystick, right here with this little control, we just toggle this and you'll see it switch from 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, on 1 we have trip A, right? Trip B on 2, trip 3. So it's voltage, date, range. And then on 4, here is where we have your configurables with your ABS, traction control, which you can set, wheelie control, and then your preload suspension. Single rider, 2 riders, or rider with luggage, 2 riders with luggage. And you can change these. I mean, this is touchscreen. See, so you can change it to your traction control. Very, very simple. Same with your wheelie control. Now, I can feel the suspension raising up because I hit 2 up. Now let's hit 2 up with luggage. It's raising up even higher. Now let's go back down to just single rider. We'll take that off. Suspension is dropping. Now let's see if we can hear the suspension or see it move. Did you guys hear that? I mean, the bike lifted up. Pretty cool. So there are so many different configurables on here. Lots of offerings. Everything controlled right here on this joystick. And then you can set your favorites for your home button. And then obviously you have your turn signals here. But it's not that hard. You just got to go through it and toggle it and what does what. But it is touchscreen, and you can just go right through. But most of the people, if you're road riding, you're going to keep it in tour mode, and these are the settings that you like. This is the setting I like the most. Most power, stiffer suspension, more sporty ride. And I keep these set on the presets in the factory. 3 on the wheelie control, 3 on the traction control, and single solo rider on the preload. Okay, so now you go to a screen where you can configure all of your settings, your media, your phone, your riding information. And the way you do that is on a switch on the handlebar. Switch here. If you just hold this back, pull it back towards you and hold it, what it will do is it will switch the menu button to give you this screen here. So we're in that screen. We can just use the joystick, go down and change. Once we get to what we want, we hit enter. It'll take us into settings. So now you have function, display, general, and service. You can go through all those. You can go into Bluetooth, connected services, regulatory, all kind of stuff on this. So this is where you would change your rider configurables for user 1 and 2. All right, so you would go to function, and then you would hit enter. Once you hit enter, here's your user modes. You can also turn off your auto cancel turn signals, change your trip. User modes, you hit enter, you got user 1 and 2. So let's just say 1,
enter. And this is here where you can see you can change your power, your engine braking, your overall, your front suspension. You can manipulate these on the touchscreen any way you want and then save them to your favorites. So they're already rider configurable, both for user 1 and user 2. And to get back to the main screen, you just hit the back button and it'll take you home. If you want to save, this is your favorites button. The star is your favorites, not your home button, your favorites. You can hit that and save it to your favorites. You guys are also aware this has heated grips, which are controlled right here with your function button. So once you pull this function button in towards you, it will show up on the screen right down here. So let me hit it again. See that right there? It's your heated grips right here. You can control the level of your heated grips right here with this function button, right on the right hand handlebar.
Have the windscreen in the high position, and we'll talk about that too. So let's get up this hill. So some of the things I'm finding out 320 miles in, this bike is so easy to ride. The clutch is so easy to operate. And I did say clutch. I got the manual version, not the DCT. Why? Well, I had the Goldwing DCT, and I think the DCT is an engineering marvel. I just like having the clutch control for the simple reason of manipulating the throttle using the rear brake, and I feel like I have more control, and I just wanted to go back with it. Would I get a DCT again? Possibly, depending on what I was using the bike for, but I think I'm a manual person overall, just because of that throttle manipulation with the friction zone and having to control the power to the rear wheel. I just like knowing exactly when it's going to be delivered, because I just think it's better for the overall riding experience. And if you get into off-road, that's, you know, it goes without saying. I know they say DCT is decent off-road. Not quite sure. Haven't tried it, don't plan on it. Rather use this. So that's why I got the manual. Now the manual version of this is not the easiest to find. Most of these have been made in DCT because they've been made as a sports touring mile muncher, and you know, it makes sense. But with cruise control, you can put this in 6th gear, set it and forget it. It's like having DCT anyway. But or you could always get a quick shifter installed, similar. Then why not just get the DCT? Well, gives you the best of both worlds with that option, and the DCT costs a little more, and the DCT is a little heavier. Just something to note if you are looking at this bike. This windscreen is the stock windscreen. I have it in the high position. I've noticed on the highway, pretty good protection. I'm getting a little buffeting in the top of my helmet. So I did order from National Cycle a mid-size windscreen to see how that fares. So I'll bring that to you and give you a comparison video, so stay tuned for that. So far, really pleased with this bike. Not surprised at all, because I knew it was going to be awesome. A lot of good comments, appreciate that from everybody. So the fuel mileage, the engine, the parallel twin. Now Honda says this has the Unicam, U-N-I-C-A-M, Unicam, and it's designed for better performance and more airflow. So the 1084cc parallel twin with the Unicam design. It is the same engine in the Honda NT 1100, just tuned a little differently. And if you know Mr. Holy Shift, if you look at his channel, he has the same bike. He chose to get the BT Moto Tune, which really opened this bike up. And then he paired that with the Akrapovic or Akrapovic, however you want to say it, full race exhaust. And that bike moves. Riding triangle on this bike, very comfortable. Foot pegs comfortable. I don't feel any vibrations in the handlebars or the foot pegs. I find the handlebar placement just right. Again, I'm 5'11", one little over 1.8 meters, 32-inch inseam, 210 pounds, a little over 95 kilograms, and I find this to be a perfect, comfortable riding position. So, everybody waves out here, I'll tell you that. I've never been down this road. I have no idea where I'm at, but it's part of the adventure. What do we got here? I'm on Route 123, 123, heading towards South Carolina. Today I'm just out meandering, trying to get up to that 600 miles so I can get that service scheduled and not have to worry about it. But as we meander down, I'm in 5th gear in tour mode, and this thing's just trucking along with ease. And it's really a joy to ride, and it's really comfortable. And even like here we are, what, doing almost 60 in 5th gear just to stand up, right? So easy. If you need to take a break, stretch your legs, not an issue. We got some logging trucks. Brakes on this, awesome. Front and rear, not wooden, not squishy. I mean, they're responsive. They work very well. Everything you expect from the Honda, right? Reliability, value for the price. The amount of you that have sung the praises of what an icon this Africa Twin is. It was like every comment. What a bike! Best bike they make. Best looking bike they make in the adventure category. And this was from other adventure riders who own GS trophies and Tenere 700s and on and on and on. So interesting to hear that. We got, even here, everyday applicable life situation. 3rd gear, country back road, a little bit of traffic, just rolling along. The bike does everything well. Highway, cornering, cargo space, really good. And I think with the mid-sized windscreen, the wind protection will be right up there with as good as it's going to get. So this is a very formidable contender if you are looking for I'm going to say touring bike. I know that's a different class, but the adventure sports is kind of the mix. Touring, sport touring, adventure. I mean, it does it all. So doesn't have a stereo. I mean, that's the only, but you can put a headset on. So it can fall into the bagger category. I recommend if you get the Twin is get this kickstand extender, because that foot, it's decent, but this definitely helps. It's like $20. So there it is, 1084cc. And like I said, you can get the quick shifter. I don't know, it's like $600. Oh, I know what else I got. I have the Honda center stand. I got that on there just to do chain maintenance easier, and obviously, check the tire pressures. You don't have to roll the bike back and forth in the garage. So the Honda, it's very easy to get up on the center stand. I've done it. Even though people say the bike's heavier, not a problem at all. And the other thing is, see this right here? Skid plate. It's not too bad for stock. It's decent. Now, I'm not saying go rip around on gnarly, super big rock roads, because it will dent the crap out of it, but gravel and forest roads, yeah, I think it'll be pretty decent.
We look at the headlights. Obviously, we have LEDs, but here are the cornering headlights that light up the side of the road at night. Look at that. Pretty awesome.
the tricolor, the bags, you know, just world-class touring bike here. So thanks for watching, and don't forget,